Let's spend some time with our friend Dennis Horton. He's the executive director of the Rockford Regional Office of the Better Business Bureau. Dennis, good morning.
Good morning, Riley. How are you?
I'm doing great. How's everything with you this morning?
Really? Did you say 99 on Friday?
I did, yeah.
Ooh.
With a heat index that could reach 112.
I'm inside.
That's
all I can say.
If I wanted this, I'd go to Vegas.
Right.
Because there's a dry heat there. It should be a wet one here. So, yeah.
Oh. Wow.
Summer is truly and well upon us. So, like I said, yeah, now's the time to get all that stuff done. But the more important thing to do now is pay attention to the things Dennis is going to tell us about, because it could save you money, save you time, save you trouble, save you irritation, and all the things that go along with that. When talking Social Security tricks.
You know, we've talked about the IRS and Social Security scams for months. In fact, going on years.
Right.
But IRS has been the number one scam across the country until now. In the last 2 months, prior to April, last 2 months, yes, just about April, we began to see an uptick in the number of scam calls regarding Social Security. And we've talked about the scam where people get a call or get a voicemail message that their Social Security number has been compromised and been used in some sort of criminal activity and has now been suspended by the Social Security Administration. Well, that's the scam. But now there have been 76,000 complaints in the 12 months from April to April. 76,000 people. And they're not just calling because they're letting government agencies or the Better Business Bureau, the Attorney General's office know about it. They're calling because they've lost collectively $19 million, Riley.
Wow, $19 million.
$19 million. It's really quite amazing that much money is being lost, and the very sad thing is that it's impacting people who are receiving Social Security benefits, and the losses come out to be around $1,500 per victim.
And the people that are getting played on this one are people who their subsistence relies on that payment. Exactly.
That's what makes it so insidious. That the people, like you said, who are getting hurt by these are the people who can least afford to be hurt by this. And it is such a convincing scam, and because we're dealing with a population, an elderly population who are dependent on that monthly check, they react immediately to do what they think is preventing themselves from any kind of damage, when in fact, by responding to the voicemail or talking to the person on the other end of the phone, they're playing into the hands of these individuals.
Yep, you'll get these calls, and at this point, I've gotten dozens and dozens and dozens of them, and it begins the same way. Your Social Security number has been suspended. They'll usually say, for reasons. They don't tell you what it is, but then they tell you to call them to get that all straightened out. Well, the minute you do and start giving them the information they're looking for, that's when you get in.
And the other thing is that, and I don't know how they actually get the numbers, but they sometimes actually have the victim's Social Security number, or they have the last four digits, and then they ask them to confirm that number. How they actually acquire those numbers, I don't know. And I've asked around, and no one has actually been able to give me the answer as to how those numbers are gotten. Is there a breach somewhere? Was it from a previous breach? Was it from the Experian breach that those numbers became available? Not sure.
But it's enough that it's got their attention, and especially when they've got the last four, there's that little bit of confidence you need to go ahead and spill your guts to them.
That's right. And there is also now a snail mail version of this, which has come about because of a glitch with Medicare. Social Security recipients, some of them, their payments were forgotten and were not deducted from their Medicare-related premiums from about 250,000 people. And scammers, now finding this out, are using that information to contact victims or potential victims to make them pay up for what is in arrears. So if you get a phone call or you receive a letter from the Social Security Administration or from Medicare saying that there's a bill that you have to pay, before you do that, you need to contact Medicare or Social Security yourself and not rely on the letter that you receive or a phone call you may receive.
Yep, look up their number independently and then give them a call and let them know what it is you're holding on to, because it won't be them calling you, it'll be you calling them. And don't use the number that someone gave you in an email or somebody gave you on the phone, but to actually look it up online and make your call that way. Wouldn't that be the prudent move?
That would be exactly the thing to do.
Okay, so yeah, watch it with Social Security. We're $76 million. Oh my Lord, that's just so much money, and so many people who really can ill afford to lose that kind of dough. Next, we move on to customer support numbers. Use caution.
Yes, and we preach it all the time that look up the number. Go on the internet and search for a customer support number. Well, our telling people to do that, the scammers have been paying attention. And so they now post customer support numbers on the internet. So if you're searching for a company for customer support, the number that you get may or may not be the real number. So before you use that number, I think the best thing suggestion that I could give, if you are having an issue, say, with your credit card or something, don't just automatically, because it's easy, Google that customer support number. Actually use the number on the back of your card. If you have an issue with a product, rather than Google that company information, I hope that you hold on to the product information. Use the number that you find on your product information as opposed to Googling the number, or actually go to the website as opposed to, again, Googling that number, because we can't be sure any longer that the customer support number that comes up actually is going to the business that we're looking for.
That's crazy. I never really expected that little twist on things. I always thought, all right, you go to the net and you Google the number. That's how you find it. That's how you call the real people. Nope. We're going to go ahead and put an ad. We're going to go ahead and pay the money. We're going to get our names up there, and we're going to have a false number waiting for you.
Yes.
Wow. See, and we had an occasion over the weekend to call to look for a customer service number on something that we were using, and we had it out. I Googled something. I gave my wife the number, and she called, and she looks at me funny, and it was, young, exciting, hot women are waiting to talk to you and your friends. Give us your credit card. And this was a customer service for a product that wasn't even close to being related to anything like that. But we pulled it right offline after Googling it. So I see exactly what you're talking about. That's pretty insidious.
Yes, it's the scammers, unfortunately, they are brilliant people.
Yeah.
And they don't put their talents to good use. They work at it professionally to rip us all off. So we are the ones who are always having to be on the alert.
Yeah, it's a constant game of playing catch-up. What's the latest trick? What's the latest variation on the latest trick? And boy, they change them, seemingly weekly.
And sometimes hourly.
And sometimes hourly, yeah. So, well, there are people out there with a hand actively reaching for your pocket. Final thing to look at, BBB Engage, social media and digital marketing.
The BBB, along with we're kind of a two-headed horse. We are both an advocate for business and an advocate for consumers. In this case, we have on our business advocacy hat, and one of the things that we try to do is educate our accredited businesses and other businesses in town on things that would benefit their business. And so the BBB here, we're hosting an event August 1st. It's the first in what will be a series called BBB Engaged, where we're going to be able to help small business people or any business person who has an interest in but not quite the understanding of social media and digital marketing. What is the best social media platform to use? Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or how do you use digital marketing to effectively reach your customers, new and old. We have assembled a panel of experts here who can provide that information. It will be an interactive event on August 1st. It's going to be held from 5:30 to 7 p.m. Downtown at the Nordloff Center, which is the former New American Theater building that is now owned by the library. There's a $10 fee for accredited businesses, and if you're not a BBB member, please still avail yourself of it. It'll just cost you $5 more.
It's outstanding because for a lot of people, there's a big question mark that floats over their heads. And okay, I know it's out there. I know it's powerful. I know people are engaged. I have no idea how to jump in this pool and do anything.
Yes, and sometimes if you get involved in social media or using one of the platforms and you don't know what you're doing, you can find yourself in trouble. We had a call yesterday from a gentleman who thinking he's working with Facebook, when in fact was signing himself up to become a victim of a car wrap scheme. And he got so far as to receive the check from these people. So we don't know. Those of us who aren't IT people or brilliant at what goes on, and those using those platforms, the people that we have assembled they're experts, and they're going to be able to guide everyone on what's the best use and how to best use those platforms, and to do so without getting yourself into any kind of trouble.
For people who want to get themselves signed up for it or take part in it, do you need to register ahead of time? Just show up? What's the best way of going about this?
Yes, you need to register. You can either call our office at 815-963-2222, or by noon today, there will be a link online that you can register online at bbb.org. But until then, you can give us a call.
Outstanding. 815-963-2222.
That's the one.
That's how you get in touch with the Better Business Bureau. As always, Dennis, you've given us a wealth of stuff, and you guys really, the Social Security stuff, that is so, so important. Please pay attention to that and watch yourself with the customer support. And, hey, if you don't know about digital marketing and social media and all that, the BBB does, and they'll help you out. Dennis, as always, we really, really appreciate the information. We'll look forward to talking to you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you, Riley.